past lives. Or maybe you are not aware that this is a life to balance another life.
No, I'm not aware of that.
So you have at other times been very much of a leader, very assertive, very productive in cooperating with others in a way that you did not lose yourself. And so in this lifetime, it was necessary for you to find the balance of those wonderful lives that went so well for you, and the balance was necessary for you to, at this point in time, to have to learn those skills, so to speak, from the bottom up, and neutralize and come into balance with what you had so capably taken care of in prior, and at least, well, there was actually several past lives where there was a life when you were a priestess in Egypt. Were you aware of that?
No.
And in that lifetime, you were a very spiritual leader. And people reserved great admiration for you. You were well respected. You had a lot of power that you used graciously. You did not oppress. You were very loving and supportive of those that you were in charge of or that were following your rule. And it was very loving situation. And you had a lot of self-esteem and confidence in yourself. And when something was amiss, you handled it very appropriately. And you were a very powerful woman. And in this case, being a woman who was more subservient, giving away your power, being helpful to so many but losing yourself in the process. You did not lose yourself as your Egyptian life. You had a wonderful experience of knowing who you were. And in this life, you at times have lost yourself, overwhelmed with responsibilities you've taken on to help others at times, to the point where it was like overwhelmingly oppressive to you. Does that sound familiar?
Very.
Okay. And this is the lifetime to regain that ability to move back where you were in your prior lives. You also had a lifetime in Atlantis where you were you weren't really a minister as such, but you were a spiritual leader that had great love for your followers. It was not a church of sorts. It was a group that was very much in tune with spirituality. You were very benevolent to them, and they respected you, and you respected them, and it went very well. A lot of wonderful things happened under your tutelage and your leadership. And again, you did not give away your power, but used it in a very gracious, very graceful way. And in this case, this life is to come back into that grace that you needed to regain so that all aspects of your soul can come back into balance. As most of you know, all of you have past lives that are popping up here and there. So you have been recreating over and over situations and experiences that need to finally come to resolution and loving ways to spiritually resolve them. And so they no longer recreate, because this is the end of the third dimension. And if you have some, you might call habits, or you're saying, well, I keep doing this over and over. Why do I keep doing this over and over? These are sometimes things that are not necessarily consciously motivated, but come from a past life where it's a patterning that you've been working on for many lives. And it is time to finally get to the root cause of how to bring it into your awareness. With awareness, it opens up into the ethers and no longer is a problem, because it's no longer in a denial, no longer suppressed, no longer being stopped from being expressed. So that's where you're at in many ways, Nancy, in that this is a balancing, and the feelings that you feel through having to grow back into that wonderful places that you've already had, because it's necessary for that part of your soul to also have not only the good parts balancing out, but the negativity that has to come along with it. It's like we cannot have day without night. So they go together like ham and cheese. You have to have one and the other, and now you are completing the other part of it. So it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's necessary. And when you see that this is where your growth is coming, is to focus on Nancy and regain your power. Regain the ability to be Nancy in her complete way, and detach from those around her so that she is coming back into her fullness of where she has been before, and that she has that peace of mind again, and she has that self-respect and confidence inside again, and she can be in a group but not absorbed of it. You know, it's like being in the world but not of it. You need to be in your family situation but not of it. You know what I'm talking about.
With Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's coming into being a detached situation where you are taking care of Nancy, and the consequences fall where they may. And I know that those are his lessons, and your lesson is to stay strong through whatever comes your way, or to respond in loving ways to all those things around you, and you will regain that strength and powerfulness, empowerment I'd rather call it, to empower yourself once more. Does that help?
Yes, it does, very much so. And I talked to you last week or 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to apologize if I was disrespectful to you at all. I was a little bit upset, and I did not mean any disrespect.
Well, Nancy, you were very much upset, and when people are upset, it does not upset me, because you cannot affect me that way. You see, this is what you're trying to learn, is that people have their feelings, and they need to be supported in their feelings, but the other person does not need to take it on. There is a difference between empathy and sympathy. And you can empathize with the person and be supportive, but when you sympathize, then you move into their feelings, and you merge and you enmesh, and you've lost your power. So rather than sympathizing with people, I would prefer that you try to empathize with them. Does that make sense? It means you don't give away your power in the situation, and you don't lose your power in trying to make them feel better.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and that's part of what your lessons are in this life. And you're working on them, and I applaud you that you are so diligent and so curious and so aware that you are trying to actually resolve these, because they are not easy ones to do in this society.
True, very true.
So it is a huge challenge that you put before yourself for this lifetime. I just want you to remember how much help you have with you, that your guides are putting you in the right places. And may I express to you something that might make it go a little easier for you. Some people say no pain, no gain. It does not always have to be painful to grow. You need the experience, but it doesn't have to be the worst version of the experience. So you might ask for the good outcome of the situation, and it will bring it into higher vibrations. So when the situation occurs, and instead of stop, the old adage, count to 10, and think, how am I going to send love to myself and the other person in this situation? And when you send love or you pray for the best outcome, you've risen up out of the lower consequences that can be more painful. And you've risen into, oh, this fell together better than I would have expected, but you still learned the lesson, and it was not nearly the struggle. So I suggest asking for help through these experiences and bringing your vibration up. So this is what Saint Germain wants to talk about tonight, and since there's not a lot of people here, maybe we have that opportunity. So we didn't know how much interaction would be going on. And we'll explain more about vibrations later, okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
All right.
I'm very grateful too.
Well, we're so glad you're here. Do not worry about offending me or upsetting me. I'm not perfect, but maybe some of you don't understand what an ascended master is about. And this is the road you're all on. An ascended master means that you are the master of your emotions. And you are not caught up by other people's circumstances, comments, behavior. You go about your business, you take care of yourself, you send love and support to others, but you don't get caught up in it. So that you see what they're doing is neutral and what you're doing is important for you. And you don't see, this is why we call it the disappearing part of the third dimension, is why it's leaving, is that we are no longer going to be judging what they're doing. We're no longer going to be critical of that person to the little gossipy, I'm thinking of a word, petty. The petty things used to be on the tip of everybody's tongue. When my mother was raising Marilyn, the pettiness that went on in her family was atrocious. And so that part of our language and abilities to speak that kind of communication is disappearing, and you're mastering not to have that as your life way of communicating or your lifestyle anymore. You find higher and better things to discuss. Maybe that is not a good explanation, but I hope you understand from that.
Thank you. He doesn't hear a nod. Oh, I did say thank you.
So, Vivian has been very quiet tonight. Do you have any questions?
I have always a lot of concerns, but I think I would like to just leave it at tell me what I should know. Then I won't be leading it into dark alleys that don't have any exits.
Well, it sounds like you want a fortune telling session.
No, I don't. I'm leaving it totally open.
What?
I could bring it to my son, or that would be fortune telling, I think. So
What we want you to know is that everything that comes before you, you scripted for these experiences. These are the informational things that were necessary for you to look at, to understand, to analyze, to change your behavior, your thinking about. So in many ways, this lifetime is coming into a balance for everybody, and the things that are happening are necessary. So there are no dead end or black alleys. They are all opportunities for your spiritual growth. And you are opening doors for that constantly right now. I know that you are a student of learning right now, which just thrills all of us that are around you. You are in a search, and you are open-minded and aware. And when you find a situation that seems to be like a brick wall, turn left. You don't have to continue trying to walk through a brick wall. It just means you need to try another approach. So what you discover is the approach didn't work, so then you try plan B. If plan B doesn't work, try plan C. And you just change your options, and the new option